Okay, so today we are going to learn about changing the coordinate system. So you might have come across, or I'm sure you will come across in other courses, where you have to go from Cartesian coordinates, that is the XYZ axis, to some spherical coordinate or polar coordinate, cylindrical coordinate system, which is easier to deal with, right? So let's look at some examples and let's see what we can learn from it. Alright, so let's first look at an example for changing the coordinate system in a plane. Okay, so changing coordinate system in a plane, right? So in a plane, when you change the coordinate system, go from Cartesian to polar. Okay, so this is Cartesian coordinate to polar coordinate system. So basically what we are doing here, we go from x, y to r, theta. Okay, so we have already looked at this, right? We know how to convert something which is in the xy coordinate system to something which is in the r theta coordinate system. So you can go over the previous lectures for it, but just to recap, we had written x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. Okay, so if now there is a small change in x, right? If x becomes dx, so there is a small change in x, then you can do you can take the differentiation for this one by one, once for r and once for theta. You will get dr cos theta minus sin theta minus r sin theta d theta, right? And for dy you will get dr sin theta plus r cos theta d theta, right? So this is going to be your dx and dy. Now let's draw it out and see what we mean by it. Okay, so let's say we have our coordinate system, right? X and y. Okay, and we have some vector r. Alright, just here. Now what we want to do is we want to change this to polar. Okay, so polar coordinate system. Now let's say this vector changed by a certain dr, right? So essentially it went here. Okay, from here it went. So the length is the same, so let's call this is r, right? And this is theta. Okay, and okay, so since the length is the same, this is also r. Okay, alright. So now there is a change. Okay, so there is a change from theta to d theta, and there is a change over here which is dr. Okay, so now you can see this. Okay, this length, let's call it a. A is going to be what? This a is going to be r, right? So this is a 90 degree here, right? This is at right angles. Alright, so this a is going to be r sin theta, r sin d theta. Okay, because the change in angle is, alright. So for a small d theta, sin d theta is nothing but d theta itself. So for a small angle, sin theta will become theta itself. So here we have d theta, so this is just going to be d theta. So we can write a is equal to r d theta. Okay, alright. So now if you look at this, right, if you look at this, we can call it ds. Okay, so if this is a 90 degree, then this is also 90 degree, and then this one is, this arc length is ds. Okay, so arc length is ds. So from Pythagoras theorem we have ds square is equal to, just look at it, so a square plus dr square, right, and a square is nothing but r d theta, so a is nothing but r d theta, so a square will be r square d theta square plus dr square. So this is going to be your ds square. So let's look at it again. So we have an x and y axis, we have a vector r, right, and this is right, and we want to change the vector slightly, right, we want to move the vector slightly. So the change in angle is going to be d theta, the change in r is going to be dr, right, and so and because of that the change in the polar coordinate system is going to be ds, right. So ds is going to be the arc length with which it moves. So you are going to have ds is equal to a square plus dr square, and this is this. You can also arrive at the same ds square from, let me write it fully. We can also arrive at ds square from dx square and dy square. So essentially what I am saying is ds square is nothing but dx square plus dy square. So this is the relation between how much the arc length is changing versus how much each of the Cartesian coordinates are changing. Okay, so let's look at this. So we know that x is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta, therefore dx is going to be dr cos theta minus r sin theta d theta, and dy is going to be dr sin theta plus r cos theta d theta. Okay, this is our dx and dy. So ds square is nothing but dx square plus dy square. Okay, and then we can write it as, so now we just take the square of these terms, right. So we will get dr square cos square theta plus r square sin square theta d theta square minus 2 r cos theta sin theta dr d theta plus dr square sin square theta plus r square cos square theta d theta square plus 2r cos theta sin theta dr d theta. Okay, so this and this gets cancelled, and then you can combine this with this, and you can combine this with this one. So you are going to get dr square plus r square d theta square, and this is your ds square. Of course this comes from the fact that cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1. Alright, so here we have used the fact that cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1, so we can get dr square is common, so we get dr square plus, similarly for here, so we get dr square plus r square d theta square. Okay, this is the same from what we got in the previous one, right. We got the same thing here, and we did this just based on the image, just based on the figure. right? Which is this figure. Alright. So essentially, now let's look at one more insight here. So suppose your r changes by dr, okay, and theta is constant. Okay, let's say theta in this system if theta is constant and r changes by dr, then what will happen to ds? Then this term will be 0, right? Then ds will just change by dr, right? So ds is going to change by dr, okay, because theta is constant. But if r is constant and we change theta, right, then ds changes by r d theta. Okay, so r can be some constant. Let's say r is some constant, r is equal to a. So ds is going to be changes by a d theta. A d theta. Okay, so this is what we are going to get. Alright. So let's look at some other coordinate system. Alright, so this is ds represents your arc length, and we want to see in this polar coordinate system what is the change in arc length, right? We want to see if we change dx, if we change the vector, and so if the vector changes, then of course your x and y is going to change by dx and dy. So the arc length is going to change, and we want to see what is the change in arc length, and that is represented by this. Alright. Also ds is nothing but, right, just ds alone is nothing but I dx plus j dy, okay, and ds square is nothing but ds dot ds. So you basically have to take the dot product of this and you will get this, and that is what we have done here, right? We computed what is dx, we computed what is dy, and then we took the square of individual terms, right, and added them up, which is essentially nothing but the dot product of the two ds terms. Okay, so this is what we are going to get. Now there is another concept. If you write ds, so what was our ds? What our ds was. Right, so ds is nothing but I dx plus j dy, right? And so we can write I cos theta into dr minus r sin theta d theta plus j into sin theta into dr plus r cos theta d theta, right? We are just substituting for dx and dy in terms of r and theta. Now what we do is we take the r and dr terms common and the d theta terms common. So we will get I cos theta plus j sin theta into dr plus minus I sin theta plus j cos theta into r d theta. Okay. So essentially now we know that this term, right? So this is like a vector again, and this is like another vector. So we can write this as er dr plus e theta r d theta. Okay. So this is going to be so this er and ER and E theta are a basis vectors. Unit basis vectors. Okay, they are unit because if you take the square of individual terms, right, if you do ER square, norm of this you are going to get 1, and norm of E theta also you are going to get 1. So they are unit basis vectors. Okay, so ER and the E theta are unit vectors, unit basis vectors, and R is your scale factor for d theta, right? As I have explained, if you keep r constant and you only change d theta, if you only change theta by a small amount d theta, then the change in ds is going to correspond to r d theta, right? So the change is going to correspond to r d theta, which means r is a scale factor. So r is a scale factor for d theta. Alright, so your ds can actually be written as ER dr plus E theta d theta. Okay, and that is the way that we write your ds. So these are your unit basis vectors. Alright, so we have seen for a simple example. Let's go to a three-dimensional coordinate system. Okay, so 3D coordinate system. Okay, now for a 3D coordinate system, let's look at a example which is a cylindrical coordinate system. So in a cylindrical coordinate system, what you do is you change x, y, z, right? So you have it's a three-dimensional coordinate system, so you are going to have x, y and z, and you transform it into r, theta and z. So z remains the same, but there is r and theta as well. Okay, so this is your cylindrical coordinate system. So how will we represent it? Let's look at it. Okay, so we have we are going to, let's see, let me draw it because I'm not very good at drawing, so let me see. Okay, alright, so this is my x, this is my y, and this is my z. Alright, so now what I do is let me draw first a cylinder, that will be easier. Okay, and we have this, alright, and we have, alright, so this is my cylinder. Okay, so we have an r here, alright, and this is our r and this is our theta. So r is the length of the vector, and r norm of r will be the length of the vector, and r makes an angle theta with respect to the x-axis, and this is my z. So this is my z, right? So essentially we are looking at this coordinate system. Okay, alright. So if this is the coordinate system, then over here, so this is also r, right? This is also r, and this is our z. So we have over here will be our change in ds, and ds will be represented by its unit vectors or basis vector. So we have Ez, and then we have E theta, and then we have ER. Okay, so these three basis vectors, they are of course going to be orthogonal to one another, right? They are going to be at 90 degrees to one another, and they will represent your ds. So this will represent your ds. So now let's look at ds. Okay, so we have x is equal to nothing but r cos theta. Okay, because here this is essentially like polar coordinate, but with a z direction as well. Okay, that is what cylindrical coordinate is. It's like a polar coordinate where x and y can be represented using r and theta, and then z is just the z direction of it. Okay, y is equal to r sine theta, and z is nothing but z. Okay, so now we can write dx. So dx is r dr cos theta minus r sine theta d theta. Dy is nothing but dr sine theta plus r cos theta d theta, and dz is nothing but dz, right? And ds is what? ds is I dx plus j dy plus k dz. Right? This is your dz. Okay, so of course we can write down. So we'll have I into dr cos theta minus r sine theta d theta, right, plus j into dr sine theta plus r cos theta d theta plus k into dz, right? This is going to be our ds, and so we can write this as, right, we can take dr common, d theta common. So let's do that. So we'll have I cos theta plus j sine theta dr plus minus I sine theta plus j cos theta d theta plus k dz, right? So this is your, what is this? This is your ER, this is your E theta, right? This is your E theta, and this is your EZ. Okay, so this is what you have. Alright, so if you now take the dot product of this, so you can essentially write this as ds is equal to ER dr plus E theta into r d theta, because r is the scale factor, plus Ez dz, and ds square will be nothing but the product of this, right? So you can just do a square of each of these and you will get the terms. So you will get E, right, so what is ER dot ER? So let's write this as ds dot ds, right, because this is the vector. So we are going to get, you can do the computation, but ultimately you will get it as dr square plus r square d theta square plus dz square. So this is what you are going to get. Okay, you can do this computation. How will you do this computation? You can verify this for yourself. So the verification would be that you can either go for ds is equal to I dx plus j dy plus k dz. You can either start with this and just do the dot product of ds dot ds, or you can do it from ds is equal to er dr plus e theta r d theta plus ez dz, and you can get the dot product of this, and eventually either way you will get the same answer. Okay, so this is how you can verify. Alright. Now suppose you want to take the volume element of this, right? You want to get the volume element. So the volume element in in Cartesian coordinate system, right? In Cartesian system, which is x, y, z, this is going to be dx, dy and dz. But similar volume element for the cylindrical, this is going to be r, theta and z. So in this system, this is going to convert to dr, r d theta and dz. Okay, so this is going to be your volume. So basically you take all of this. So you take dr from here, r d theta from here and dz. So essentially you are looking at what are the changes in ds and what are the small changes in ds that correspond to. So this is going to be dr, r d theta, dz. So this is what your volume element is going to be. So you can write it as r dr d theta dz. Okay, if you want to take the area element, okay, let's say you want the area element for constant r equal to a. Okay, so essentially you want to get change in area. Okay, so change in area means, of course, one coordinate has to be constant. That's when you will get area for a three-dimensional system. So then let's assume that r is constant. Then you will get, so r dr will not, so dr will not be changing, right? Because r is constant. So only d theta part and dz part will change. So you will have r d theta and dz. So you are going to get a d theta dz. So this is going to be your area element. Okay, so these are important when you do integration. So if you want to do an integration and you want to convert from some coordinate system which is in x and y and into a different coordinate system, right? Suppose you want to do an area of x plus y, so double integration of dx dy, and now you want to change it to cylinder let's say polar coordinate system, right? So you will have to change this. So this will be some function of r and theta and dr d theta, right? So this will be r dr d theta, right? And this will be your change in integral. Okay, we'll look at how we'll do this again. So now, right, I think I've told you everything. Okay, so this is going to be your change in arc length. This is going to be your unit basis vector er, e theta, and ez, and then you are going to get the ds. You can get the ds square as well, and you can get the volume and area element as well. Okay, all right. Now let's do one more coordinate system. Okay, so one more coordinate system which is very common is spherical coordinate system. So in spherical coordinate system, essentially if you have some vector, okay, and you want to create its spherical system, okay. So now what you are going to do is you have to first look at so this is where it touches the sphere, okay, and this is your vector, okay, and this makes an angle theta with the z axis. So this is your z, y and x. Okay, this is your angle theta. Sorry, this is 90 degree. So it makes an angle phi with the x-axis. So the projection of this vector r, right? So we are projecting. So this is in the three-dimensional coordinate system, the vector r. But now we can project it onto the plane, onto the xy plane, and there the projection of that will make a 90 degree here. But this will, so this is your projection, and let's call this A, and now this A is going to make an angle phi with the x and y axis, okay, and you're going to have, this is also going to be theta, okay, these are our conditions. So if we now change this angle by d theta, okay, so if we change it by d theta, okay, then angle might change by, this angle might change by d phi, sorry. So this angle might change by d phi, okay. So here we are going in the counterclockwise direction, and here we are going in the clockwise direction, okay. So anyway, the point is that you have z is equal to, okay, let's look at it one by one. So we have z axis, and this is our xy plane, okay, and this is our vector r, okay, and it's making an angle theta, and here also it's making an angle theta, and this is 90 degree, and this is our A, okay. So this length is our A, okay. So we can get that z is equal to r sine theta, sorry, z is equal to r cos theta. How are we getting that? We are just doing, so this is, right, let's call this z, okay. So we are doing cos theta is nothing but z by r, right, because opposite by hypotenuse. So z is equal to r cos theta, right. So we can get this, and we have A is equal to r sine theta, okay. So we can get this. Now the next would be, let's break down the bottom part. So the bottom part is, so this is y, this is x, and we have A, right, and this is making an angle phi with the x-axis. So this is our x, and this is our y, okay. So we can write x is equal to A cos phi and y is equal to A sin phi, right. And we already know from the previous figure that A is r sin theta, So we have A is r sine theta. So we can write, and since A is r sine theta, we can write x is equal to r sine theta cos phi, y is equal to r sine theta sine phi, and z is equal to r cos theta. Okay, so this is our spherical coordinate system. Okay, we are converting x, y, z to r, theta and phi. So now let's try to find what are the scale factors, what is ds, what is ds square, and all of that, right? Okay, so I'll just tell you that ds square is dr square plus r square d theta square plus r square sine square theta d phi square. Okay, which means that scale factors are for r is 1, for d theta is r, for d phi is r sine theta. Right? These are going to be your scale factors, and then you can get the other things. Okay, so maybe homework is for the spherical coordinate system, find ds square, the vector ds, and the new unit vectors. Okay, so this is your homework.